The number one reason why most people get denied is because they're too thirsty. And what I mean by that is they're extremely eager to apply to these different financial institutions without laying down the groundwork and meeting certain prerequisites to qualify for funding. If you have too many inquiries on your credit report, maybe you don't have your taxes filed, maybe you don't have pay stubs, maybe you don't have a lot of these prerequisites that you need to position yourself, position your profile with in order to have the best chances of success. It's no different if you were to go take the SAT and you never opened up a study guide. So you can't expect to have high marks when you're not doing the preparation. So lack of preparation before going into these institutions. Now, one of the main things that people overlook is inquiries, right? So even though inquiries have the least impact on your credit score, a lot of institutions are looking at your recent credit seeking behavior. Some people have this assumption that, oh, if the inquiries 12 months or older, it's not going to affect me, but it still does. Inquiries affect you for up to 25 months. So an inquiry is not going to naturally just fall off your credit report until 25 months. So in the meantime, if you have a lot of inquiries, not to say that you can't get approved, but it greatly diminishes your odds of getting approved. And it's one less thing that a financial institution can hold against you, because if they don't see any inquiries, then they're not going to know that you have a lot of recent credit seeking behaviors unless there's a bunch of new accounts reporting on your credit report. Now, recently we had a client that was getting denied, and this was a client who had over 800 across the board. I look at their credit report and they have 10 credit inquiries on each credit report. So I said, look, go check out Inquiry Removers. I'll actually put it up on the screen. So now this client has over an 820 credit score across the board, 0 inquiries. So the next application spree is going to be a lot more successful, because that's one less thing that the banks have to hold against them. They have income verification, they have excellent credit history, a solid number of accounts on their profile, but most importantly, based off the information on their credit report, there's not a lot of recent credit seeking behavior. So even if you have high marks on your credit, even if you have verifiable proof of income and taxes and all that good stuff, if you have a lot of recent credit seeking behavior, that could get you denied, even if you have high marks everywhere else. So again, guys, preparation is most important. I see a lot of times where people are jumping the gun. You want to get to the money. You needed that 100,000 yesterday, and you can't wait to position yourself so that you have a higher chance of success. Now, what happens is a lot of people are applying to these banks with bad credit, with a ton of inquiries, with no documentation at all, no bank statements, no W-2s, no tax returns, no paperwork, right? And that's not the right way to go about. Like I said, the reason why a lot of people are getting denied is because they're too thirsty. You don't want to appear to the bank as if you're desperate, because at the end of the day, the banks don't want to do business with you when you really, really need the money. Like, I need the money. Because if you really need that money, then how are you going to be able to repay them, right? By appearing needy, you're appearing high risk. And you want to appear as least risky as possible. So you want to have the appearance as if you don't actually need the money. And how do you do that? By not having a lot of recent credit seeking behaviors, having 100% on-time payments, and having a low credit utilization. Now, the second biggest reason why most people get denied for credit and don't reach their financial goals is because they don't trust the process. Now, I've posted a lot of receipts over the years, credit limit approvals, results from credit repair. A lot of people can't get over this skepticism, right? And that's preventing them from making these different moves. A lot of people don't want to provide financial paperwork. I still get people who say, oh, I don't want to utilize Plaid, it's too risky, they're going to steal my money. Here's the thing, I've used Plaid dozens and dozens of times. It's just the way of the future. The information world, they're able to pull that data in, analyze it quickly, and get a fast underwriting decision. I think people know that their data points are insufficient, and therefore they want to give as little information as possible. But again, we're in the information age. The more information you're able to provide, the more favorable information is, the better chances of you getting approved. Now, going back to this point about not trusting the process, right? I tell you guys, okay, you got to get your credit in order. You got to get your inquiries low. You got to limit your recent credit seeking behavior. You have to get your documents and your paperwork, your bank statements, your tax returns. A lot of business owners don't even file tax returns. And I realized too, a lot of the alternative financing, let's say like a lot of these high interest MCA products and things like that, the main reason why a lot of those companies exist and why that whole industry exists is because most businesses don't have their paperwork in order. Therefore, they can't even go to a commercial bank that's going to ask them for a P&L because they don't have an accounting system. They're not tracking everything. Their documents are unorganized. Therefore, they have to go to these other alternatives that's not going to ask them for paperwork. They're going to subject themselves to high interest rates, high factor rates, and a higher cost of capital because they don't want to get organized and have their paperwork in order. So I say this all the time. Paperwork is preventing people from getting to the bag. Paperwork is preventing people from reaching their financial goals. Because people are so afraid of paperwork, you're living a lower standard of life because the lack of paperwork is preventing you from being the best version of yourself, whether that's in business or whether that's just in your personal finances, right? I mean, I know people who don't even go through the process of properly registering their vehicle. Therefore, it costs them a lot more just to sort of circumvent the traditional ways of having their paperwork, right? There was a case the other day where we had a lead come in, they filled out everything except for the important information that would be needed to do underwriting, like bank statements, financial statements, taxes, and even just their social security number, right? And it's just so interesting how some people's expectations are that they're going to get all this money from the bank and they're not even providing enough information for the bank to make an underwriting decision. And if banks can't get the information they need, they're just going to deny your applications, right? I've been talking about this for years now, and everyone wants this super hack to get all this money. And the hack is to get organized and get your paperwork in order. Like literally, that's the hack. So when I see people in the comment section saying, oh, that's cap, or I don't believe this, I don't believe that. And the reason why is because you're unable to do it because you're unwilling to do what it takes. You're too thirsty. You're prematurely applying to these different institutions without organizing your information in a way that's going to give you the best chances of getting approved. Anyways, that's all for today. Let me know your comments and questions down below. And until next time, take it easy and we'll talk to you soon. Peace.